Hello my friend, welcome to my room. It's Thursday today, it's not Wednesday. Apologies, I didn't get the opportunity to publish the Wednesday video, so I'm releasing it on Thursday instead. Hopefully you will get to see it anyhow. So today I want to discuss, concisely, in what ways INFJs can underachieve, INFJs can fall short of their potential in today's society. Because I think this is a real issue and it's something that probably will speak to quite a number of INFJs, and it's probably useful to look at some of the causes, and a more difficult question is, what are the ways of redress? How can we go about rectifying this and reaching our fullest potential and fullest fulfillment in the world of adulthood, work, fulfilling life, and so on and so forth. Now, before I move on, you might or might not know, probably do know, that I have written a book on the INFJ type, the Ecstatic Soul, so check it out at the link below. It's the current most profound investigation of the type. There's a sequel coming out soon, so keep abreast of my videos to know when it's coming out. The Infinite Castle, it's another book I've written. It's the rumor has it that the main character is an INFJ, which is something that I had not even intended, but maybe that was inevitable. The Alienated Solipsistic INFJ, if you want that explored in fiction, consider getting it. Also really supports me, and what supports me a lot as well is a modest contribution to my Patreon page. Helps me keep the channel going. The link is right there. So yeah, and if you like the video, of course, give me a like. It helps with the referencing and all that, or so I'm told. I'm an old man, so I have to rely on the advice of younger, more attuned people. Now, in terms of the topic that we're interested in, INFJs underachieving, say, or just not finding their place in society. So here I don't want to put the focus on human relationships as such, whether they be friendships or whether they be romantic relationships, family, and things like that. Of course, that's an important topic, but it's not really the focus that I want to have in this particular video. I'm more interested to look at the process of going through school, getting out of school, potentially going to university, getting specialized in a particular area, moving on to work, and having a career. Because of course in your life you're going to have at least two very significant parts of your life are inevitably going to be, on the one hand, your family life and your romantic situation, your life project at that level, and then the other project, the level of your career path, right? So these two elements, family and career, are obviously going to be central in articulating the kind of life you lead, and linked to that, the quality of it, the fulfillment you get from it, the richness of it, and the purposefulness of it. So it's obviously crucial, and this is a question that worries a lot of INFJs, young and sometimes not so young. And it's a normal thing, and it worries people of all type designations, probably some more than others. But what I'm interested in here is looking at this issue from a specifically INFJ perspective. And it's true that INFJs experience certain difficulties when it has to do, when it comes to not only expressing their potential, but also finding the appropriate spaces to express that potential, to be their best selves and to be most fulfilled in areas and in arenas that are appropriate for it, that are suited to their talents. It's not easy for INFJs, and I want to explore why. The first thing to mention is, I know this also from interacting with a lot of INFJs, is even from school onwards, INFJs tend to be a type that experience doubts about their capacities. And it's very interesting, and I'm speaking here mostly of intellectual capacities. I think INFJs have a confidence that comes from their NI dominant function that has to do with, INFJs have a certain confidence that they have a a reliable and original view of the world and of reality, of how things hang together. They have a particular view of that, and they tend to be very holistic about that, and it will be hard to displace that from their innermost conceptions. That is a level of confidence that they have. But note that this is not so much a question of intellect. It's more so a question of intuition. It's more so a question of feeling, not so much the feeling in the sense of the feeling function, but of a gut feeling, of things feeling a certain way. It's not something that you can systematize and rationalize. And for this reason, it's not something that you can really test, in a school context. It's not something that you can really organized into a particular formal subject that INFJs could then just decide that they study because they're really good at it. And that probably will, in the first place, already distinguishes them from some other types where these other types, whether they T dominant, TI dominant, or strong in SI or things like that, where they SE as well, where it often is easier for these types to say, okay, like this is what I'm good at and this is what I enjoy, in respect, and with respect to my particular cognitive makeup, to my cognitive function stack. These are the areas where I excel. For some it will be programming, for other people it will be math, for other people it will be, arts, and for other people it might be something like economics or accounting. Good luck finding the area where the INFJ has his or her niche. It seems to be much more generalist in a sense. INFJs are so holistic in how they approach the world and reality that, with the exception of those INFJs that happen to be very gifted in a particular area, for example, it could be in physics or in math. Now, these INFJs exist. They were gifted and they pursue the path and they're very happy about it, and it's great. There you also have INFJs who are just very, very good at history, and they decide that they study history and they do amazingly well. But these INFJs are relative minorities. The majority of INFJs will tend to be, usually we don't suck at anything particular. I sucked at the plastic arts, but otherwise I tend to be good at everything, but without quite excelling at any single thing. And this ability that we have to be good at everything and bringing everything into a sort of holistic focus is paradoxically not something that is valued in an objective sense in academic institutions, whether in school or even more so in university, where the tendency is towards specialization, hyper specialization. This tends to go against the grain for INFJs, and when they do pursue a degree, when they have the confidence to pursue a degree, if they're able to pursue a degree as well, because in countries like the US, sometimes that involves some strong financial commitments. It's hard not to get the sense that you're sacrificing a part of yourself in the name of that hyper specialization, because at heart you're a generalist. And then when you get through it, often what INFJs will do is try to pursue their degree in such a way that they can remain a generalist. So they'll often be idiosyncratic to the extent that they can in their particular studies, which are disciplinarily focused by virtue of the way the academic world is organized. They will try as much as they can to still bring a holistic focus. Sometimes that will be rewarded by the academic authorities, academic markers, because it's original and shows breadth of view. But if the lecturers or people who mark you don't tend to see things this way, for example, if they don't have an I in their function stack, especially not dominant, they might punish you for that. They might want to say, no, stay in line, do it like it's supposed to be done. So that is another obstacle to INFJs actually flourishing. It's that it's hard enough that they can find and approach a discipline in a way that they can find fulfilling, usually by bringing in this holistic perspective. They can't help doing it. It's their way to make the studies enjoyable. If it's rewarded, it's great, but again, there's a chance it might not be rewarded because it might be seen as going beyond the ambit of what you're supposed to be doing. So it's a difficulty in academia that doesn't get any better once you enter the world of work, and doesn't get any better in the world of work, because perhaps even more so than in academia, the world of work is hyper specialized. This is, in the same sense that we've witnessed in the last century a hyper specialization of the university into specific niche disciplines. The world of work, through the theory of various theories of management, is always oriented toward breaking things down and hyper specializing profiles in the name of efficiency. And it doesn't look like it's going to go anywhere else at the moment, given the particular dominance of capitalism, neoliberalism, and all these doctrines. And so there's always going to be this risk that INFJs, again, they find a job, they need to find a job because they need to earn money. But there's going to be lots of situations where, being a journalist in the first place, they might end up in a job where they enter into it as a journalist, and the job description might be presented to you as if it requires a journalist profile, but inevitably, or almost always, you end up doing more than or you end up being way more specific than you expected, not journalist, and this may lead to further dissatisfaction. And it could be, if you're going to be in your line of work for 30 years or more, well, it could lead to a lot of dissatisfaction, switching positions, going for another job where you think that you're going to find more satisfaction, but again, it ends up being more of a straitjacket than you would like it. Again, it's always bringing it back to the repression and exorcism of this holistic mind framework that just doesn't seem to be very suited to the contemporary world of hyper specialization in the name of efficiency and technological development and rationalization of processes. There's a mismatch here between MI expressed in its most fundamental form, and therefore most fulfilling form for INFJs, and with the demands of contemporary society. And I think that you experience that from school, college, and the world of work. So the question then becomes, how, given this reality that is not going to change tomorrow, how do you find a space for yourself where you're able to express your truest self to the best of your abilities, in such a way that you express your potential and you're rewarded for it, and you do well, but you also do well in a way that you find rewarding because you feel it's a method that's authentic to what you really like, a holistic being. So in the next video that I'll release on Saturday, I'll be exploring ways in which we can still find fulfillment and satisfaction in these areas despite these initial obstacles. So in the meantime, let me know what you think in the comments or experiences you've had. Look forward to that, and I'll see you on Saturday, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.